And we are live.
Mm.
We're live. Let's Think Podcast. I'm Sheikh 7 Islam Mel, your host, and this is Let's Think Podcast. First, I rise, giving all thanks and perfect praises unto Allah, and highest honors to His holy prophet. Honors to all, and I mean all, each and every individual participating in the comprehensive program of uplifting and falling humanity. Tonight, we're dealing with that subject. We got our esteemed guest, our brother, Khalil Ali Allah, also known as Maliki Fard by most. And we coming to demonstrate a measure. Well, the brother's coming to demonstrate a measure on the original man in the God Tribe of Shabazz. Now, wait. I know that it's been plenty of speculation on the authenticity and the historic accounts of this particular measure. But tonight, our brother is coming with some information. So, without further ado, Khalil.
Mm-hmm. Peace, God.
Peace, God. Peace to the God.
Peace to the God in person.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Yeah, man. First, I'd like to apologize for having to reschedule all those times. As you know, I had my granddaughter. I was caught up in my world of affairs.
Yes, sir.
I had to do it in that manner. Yes, sir.
Brother.
Yes, sir.
Here's the surprise guest. No one knew we were going to bring this brother on.
Mm-hmm.
But we most definitely going to bring him on.
Oh, 1,000%, brother.
My brother, a sheikh in the Muridia order, a Sheikh Ahmad Dubamba, a very sharp brother, a brother that I hold dear to my heart, and I want to say this before I bring the brother on, is this. We as brothers need to get more used to expressing the love that we have for each other.
Yes, sir.
We wear a concrete exterior, but truly within, we all know the truth. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my brother, the Sheikh Bilal. Assalamu alaikum.
Look at the brother. Peace, God.
Wa alaikum salam, rahmatullah, peace of the gods.
Yes, sir. Who, Sheikh?
Who,
yes,
you?
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So we here. Hey, listen, and I know the Sheikh, he's gonna add on. I know he's gonna add on. So guess what I'm finna do? I'm about to be the student and be quiet. Sit back and allow the presentation to begin. And hey, brothers, dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
So there's one omission. The teachings of who is the original man is written in thousands of pages of documents. I don't think no longer is there an argument of who is the original man, which is the black man. And from the black man, many species and all of that have come about. The issue that is arising that I would like to be pointed about is the tribe of Shabazz before even entering into the understanding different sciences of the original man, chess and understanding student in Rome, right? Many has taken the tribe of Shabazz as a mythos. And we can say that it's a mythos because many mythos, folklores, holds truth of actual historical events is now codified and given to us as a myth or as a folklore, whether it's astronomical, biological, whatever the sciences may be. It always comes from that. So in beginning with who is this tribe of Shabazz, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that we once had 13 tribes, and that one of these tribes were destroyed at the deportation of the moon. And that this tribe that remained would be called the God Tribe of Shabazz. That approximately 50,000 years ago, that an event had occurred, that the particular tribe went into this part of Africa, went into the part which we now call Africa, and that they came from the region for which is we call now Arabia, right? So this becomes an argument because the people are looking at Arabia as something separate from us, when Arabia is actually a part of us. The Red Sea one time did not exist. There was no Suez Canal. So that would have been a part of Northern Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, Yemen,
Yes.
which is Southern Arabia. All of that would have been a part of what would be presently Africa, right? Now, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he gives us a lead on about this tribe of Shabazz. Let me read his exact words. He says, "We, the tribe of Shabazz, says Allah God, were the first to discover the best part of our planet to live on." And he names two places: the rich Nile Valley of Egypt and the present seat of the holy city of Mecca in Arabia. So the messenger gives 2 points of research for us. One position is Arabia, and then you have ancient Egypt. Whether if you was to study, it's not like this is something that is far-fetched. Like even if you look at our brothers and sisters that practice Yoruba, right, of Nigeria, they make a reference, Aladumer, coming from Arabia into that region. You have tribes that are in Africa that literally stated in their own history that they traveled from Arabia into this part of Africa, right? That's just how the historical documentation is. But is there a fact that there is a tribe that has existed by the name of Shabazz, and is this tribe literal in reference to what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is talking about? It must be understood that this tribe of Shabazz, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us split into 2 different regions. One became your Asiatic, and one rested in your present station of Africa. Thus, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in Message to the Black Man in America, makes the statement that the American so-called Negro are descendants of the Black Asian nation and the tribe of Shabazz. So at this point, he is making the tribe of Shabazz designated to Africa, and then you have the Black Asiatic nation, which are the blacks that truly govern from in Northern Africa, going up into what you would call Southern Yemen or Southern Arabia, into Arabia and into those particular regions, right? Which they state that the migration initially started from Northern Africa into those regions approximately 50,000 years ago, right? And they give the histories of us translating or coming from that particular area into what would eventually be called into India over 35,000 years ago, which is the actual date and time that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gives to Buddhism and Hinduism, right? He gives that time period of 35,000 years old, right? So he's not just speaking of, there was no religion running around 35,000 years ago called Buddhism or Hinduism. So it must be understood that what is Hinduism is the ancient systems that was already there amongst the Tamil people or Dravidians that was already being used in that station until they eventually got conquered. And when they was conquered, because of the name of a river, these people wound up getting the name of Hindu, for which came from Alexander the Great. Was it Alexander the Great? Maybe Darius, right? So this is what they wound up calling that particular region. But this is now taking all of the ancient systems for which was there, it already in usage, and then naming them and codifying them under one name, which is Hindu.
Teach God.
Which is a robbery, because now you ignore the ancient systems that was already there, right? Now look, we're going to get into a deeper understanding of this God tribe called Shabazz. 1 minute, I'm pulling this thing up real fast. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. Hold on, I'm just pulling it up, brothers. Trust me. All right.
Take the familiar from the brain to me, man.
Yeah, man. I like this science, man. You can't go wrong in this science. So,
100% right and exact.
yeah, absolutely. And it's more research to be, to be done all together from what we are making references to, and to studying the history of my God brethren, the twins. They did great work, and they still doing great work. And I'll be glad when they release their book, Brother Johar and Bilal. Dreams, brothers are monsters at their thing. You dig it up, I'm saying? And they are studying and creating a whole cycle and system for everybody to study in the future, because a lot of people don't see that this is a real thing. So let me show you something. You have in the stories of ancient Egypt, you have a people who goes into Egypt by the term Anu. Their name are Ta Seti. These are the followers of Set. These are the followers of Set. The followers of Set, when you look at the ancient history and what they're speaking of in the folklore and the mythos, Heru killed Set, right? Okay. So now the argument begins to rise, are these histories, is this history or is this a mythos? Because in the history, a group of individuals called the Shemsu Hor comes into Egypt, and they go to war, and they conquer the Anu. The Shemsu Hor are the followers of Horus, right? These are the followers of Horus. So let's go into this history. Peace, God. 1 minute, because I just want to make sure that I want to read so that everybody will understand this history and where this history actually go. All right. Now, what the most people ignore is that this god Heru, in many of the documentation and discussion of this, the Heru was from Arabia, or the followers of Heru was from Arabia and came into that part of Africa when they conquered, right? Now, and of course, they'll say, well, they're trying to give it to somebody outside of Africa. It's not necessarily giving it outside of Africa. These are still Black people who had came a long time ago and left that particular region and returned. So let me read. All right. Trust me, I got so much stuff on my computer until it's crazy. All right. I done saved so many things and put it on my computer. If y'all could see the files on my computer, you would lose your mind. I have a lot. Books after books after books.
I like to shout out to Ivan Rivera for the $5 donation to Let's Think Podcast. I want to give all honors and flowers for the support.
Okay, so look at this. It has been proposed from the days of the earliest chronicles of Egypt that Horus, the young god, falcon god, was in fact an alien and that he originated in Arabia. This alien nature of the falcon is suggested in the Edfu inscriptions, which are thought to descend from very ancient originals. It has also been suggested that his name means the distant one, recalling perhaps his origins far away from the valley, though equally, it could evoke the figure of the falcon flying high above the desert seeking its prey. An anomaly of the court of Horus is that the Egyptians do not seem to have employed the hawk as a hummingbird. This is its role par excellence in Arabia. And it is surprising that neither Horus nor any of the other hawk and falcon gods of Egypt is ever represented as a hunter. It seems unlikely that they had any particular reservation about so representing him. After all, the hound, which is particularly identified with the god Set, is often shown as the companion of man at chase. The hunter's pilot, a pre-dynastic artifact of great celebrity and significance, has been recognized as containing many elements which may identify the hunters depicted as West Arabians. Clothing, hairstyles, and weapons are virtually identical with those shown on rock carvings in Western Arabia. It is not impossible that Horus was a divinity of these people. This pilot will be considered further for the information which it provides on the customs and symbolisms employed. Now look at that. Now the people who are what they consider to be the followers of Horus are a group called the Shemsu-Hor. This is what they are called, the Shemsu-Hor. These are the followers of Heru. These are the individuals who come into Egypt, go to war against the Anu or the followers of Set, and they displace them. These are considered gods or demigods in ancient Egypt. In pre-dynastic time, ruling right before dynastic time with means, right? Now let me show you something though. So you notice that these individuals who are coming down, they are coming from Arabia, and they're coming into Egypt to set up shop, right? Mainly Lower Egypt. Now look, this thing, man, this gets interesting. Look at how deep this thing go, man.
Keep going.
This thing go a little bit deeper here now. Forgive me, because I done downloaded a lot of things.
But take us there, though, God. Take us there.
Okay.
And why? Hold on, everybody in the chat, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I appreciate you.
Okay. Excuse me. It'd be easier for me to come directly off my phone. Now look at this. They speak again. Behutet, because he's known as Heru Behutet in the Edfu, right? Horus of Edfu. He represented Horus at midday, and so typified the greatest power of the heat of the sun. Horus of Behutet was the god of the people who invaded Egypt from some region in our near southern Arabia. Southern Arabia is Yemen, okay? And who conquered the Egyptians in some measure because they were armed with metal weapons. The companions of the god are generally known in society as the Shemsu Heru, or followers of Horus. Now these men, or this tribe, is coming from Arabia. And they are coming into that part for which you now call Egypt. The Anu was not Egyptian. They came there. Taseti. They came into that region, right? Let me show you how deep this goes. When they read about it, look at the words. Origins in Elam and Punt. The distinctive character of the first dynasty, which separates it from all that went before. First, you have to understand that Punt is in two directions in ancient maps. One is in Africa, and one is in Yemen. It's the same people, okay? It's the same people. Let's continue. which separates it from all that went before in the conquest and union of the whole land of Egypt. It became thus subject to the falcon-bearing tribe of Horus, which was the natural enemy of the Anu or the Set-bearing tribe. This falcon tribe has certainly originated in Elam, as indicated by the Heru and the lions on the Arak knife handle. They went down the Persian Gulf and settled in the Horn of Africa. There they named the land Punt, sacred to later Egyptians as the source of the race. The Punt people founded the island fortress of Hafun, which commands the whole of that coast. Stop. They give the root for this falcon tribe coming down from Elam. Where is Elam from? Where's Elam at? I'll tell you where Elam is at.
Oh, snap,
Elam is your present day Iran. Elam was a black nation.
All those carvings of those so-called Syrians and whatnot, or Mesopotamians from that side got curly hair, but the people that live every day don't.
Let me tell you, because of that mixture. Me and my wife went to the Louvre in France. We went to that museum. I got pictures of Elam, and these are black men. Guaranteed 1,000% are black people. But what's interesting is, if the root and the origin of the Shemsu Hor, because when they entered into Egypt, they became known as the Messenu. So the Shemsu Hor and the Messenu are the same exact people. Do you understand what I'm saying? They the same exact people. These are the ancient people, the gods that's in this particular region. Now look, what's important about the Shemsu Hor and the origin of Heru, or rather the falcon god, as he was known there, coming and having him in Elam, is that Elam is the ancient name of Iran, or these people was called the Rasina. What is the name of the falcon god in Iran, in our ancient Iran scriptures? Of the mythos of this falcon god who led a people from out the mountains and protected them. The name of the falcon god is Shabazz. So Heru and the mythological falcon god of Iran are the same exact people or gods. So if the Shabazz, the name of a bird or mythos is Shabazz, this is Heru. Remember, the Shemsu Hor or Heru set up shop in Arabia. Then they traveled into Africa. They engaged the Anu or the Taseti, and they conquered them. This is the same people. That is the tribe of Shabazz.
Even if you use the language that they have in that land today, God, it still breaks down to explain that exact same thing. In Syria, they call that land Shams. But to them, Shams means north, right? But in the Semitic languages from over there, Shams means the light of. The light of the word that's about to follow this word Shams. So what's the second word that God just said? Horus. So light of, knowers of, the intellect of, the carpenters of, the followers of, the people of Horus. Even if you say it in Arabic, it still points back to us.
Absolutely, because they still call the falcon there what? Hor. Right now in Arabia. Right now. So that's the tribe of Shabazz. The name is right there. If the people lead and follow the name, you got the tribe. So what we thought was just mythological and folklore is actually codified in Egyptian folklore and mythology. But I say that they are actual events. But that is definitely the tribe of Shabazz. The tribe of Shabazz, or the Shemsu Hor, known in Egypt as the Messenu. In Iran, that's Shabazz. In Egypt, it's Heru.
You're gonna have some, brother man, you're gonna have some, ruffle feathers for this one. God almighty.
But the cities in the area still.
How long, ones have called that particular measure as taught by Master Farad Muhammad to his messenger Elijah Muhammad to be not historical or anything in reality. A lot of people would say that was just a story. However, very, 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 very interesting information, beloved.
They said that Yakub was a story. Right? Let me say this, right?
Bring it.
Prince Akuba was the first to mention
peace to the God.
Peace to the God, Yakub Har, right? Mm-hmm. He came very near to the mark. Very near. But when you study the ancient sciences and ancient teachers of that time, you will know that everybody of the kings named themselves after their gods. Yakub Har is Yakub of the mountain. When you study Flinders Petrie's works, Flinders Petrie, especially in the making of Egypt, he makes a statement about how when the Hyksos had invaded that particular region, that they brought with them their gods. One of their gods is not Sekhet, I forgot his name. I forgot the name of one of the gods they brought, because when they brought him in, they switched him out for Set, because he had similar, he's painted as red, and switched him out for Set. But one of the things that Flinders Petrie said is that they also brought with them the god Yakub. What you find is that not only was Yakub worshipped by the Hyksos to such an extent that they named themselves after him and got their lineage and their lineal descent from a god named Yakub. Marcus Aurelius had a stele to the god Yakub and worshiped the god Yakub. In the same strain of writings from Saysi, for instance, he states that the Jews, because he associated the Heberu with the Jews. So he stated that the Heberu made their god, which was Yakub, their ancestor in the Bible. So Yakub was literally worshipped by the Heberu. He was literally worshipped by the Hyksos. And when you start to study up in Turkey with the Hittites, he was literally worshipped by the Hittites, of who the Hyksos actually paid homage to. So something that we were looking at, something that somebody made up out of their mind, was actually gods that was being worshipped by these people. And the Hyksos, and then later on, you will find that the Tamahu was actually worshiping a god by the name of Yakub.
Just acting.
This is documented. Now, what brings up most important is that the Hyksos ruled in Canaan.
Whoa.
And Yakub was a god in Canaan. And when the Hyksos was there worshiping the god Yakub in Canaan, you had the Yahwehists, or the worship of Yahweh, started to come into play. And then a portion of the Hyksos began to worship Yahweh. Yahweh was a mountain deity. Just like Yakub was a mountain deity. So this is where you get Yahweh and Yakub being the same people.
Whoa. Now. Whoa. Whoa.
It's facts.
You know, we got some brothers and sisters that are gonna like that we equate Yahweh to whoa.
Yahweh was a man.
And a god of the mountains. You see what you remember God, they changed his name to when Petra and southern Jordan became Hellenized, it was Lul Shara. And Lul Shara literally means the one from the Shara mountains, the same deity, just copy and paste.
So we're just gonna demystify what becomes of a thing.
Yes,
we're gonna deal with what a thing really is.
Yes, sir.
All right. So so that's when you get the characteristics mixed up with the two, right? Now, how did the Jews, now when he said they made them their ancestor in the Bible, that's Jacob. People don't even get it though, because if they really get it, they will know historically wise, people always made their lineal descent is always from some god. We see this through ancient Egypt. So they made Jacob their ancestor inside of the Bible. And what's interesting is the messenger was pointing that out. And thus he went into about Jacob and his flock. But that's not the first time that Jacob and his flock was used to show graftation through sexual selection. There are entire articles and books written on the usage of Jacob and his flock to show genetic sexual transmutation from, using sex in order to bring forth and graft a new being. We could see that in the discussion between Akiba the Jew and the Black Arab, who asked Akiba, how is it that me and my wife being black can give birth to a white baby? Akiba the Jew says what? He says, study our father Jacob and his flock. This ain't something new. So what people are making fun of is because of lack of study. Now, me personally, have I been able to find the person of Yakub? Hell no, I'm looking. I'm looking though. But now within that, you do have mythos around the persons, but I'm the type of person through my studies that every black god was first a human being. Whether you talk about Chongo or the rest, he was a black man that was deified. We have the closest to do that. We know Imhotep was a physical man. Was he not deified? We know Menes was a man. Was he not deified? So historically, we have made our kings and rulers or men and women who did great feats, and we deified them. Because in Plutarch works, when he talks about Osiris and Isis and what he communicated with the priesthood, they told him that Osiris was a man that had became deified. It's us that spiritualize everything. Right. That got spiritualized later on. But the true form of what these gods are was always kept to the priesthoods. So now we know who Shabazz is. And we know that Yakub was an actual god. We just got to tie all the pieces together. That's what we at now. We got to tie the pieces together and make this into a nice, neat school, scholarly journal type thing in order to present it in the full with the facts and details. Because the hardest thing to find is history on the Shabazz bird.
I think the brother Bilal knew about this though, God.
What'd you say, God?
I think the brother Bilal and Rabbi knew about this and played on it with what those Arabs were doing when they came in at that point in time. There's a story about Bilal noticing how them Arabs had a certain affinity for the black women,
Right.
but they had an affinity for specific types of black women that they were coming in and conquering. So this is where we get that. This is where we get that story about if you die in the way of Allah, you get these 72 dark-eyed virgins when you go up to Jannah, right? But it's something that was created and made up by Bilal to either push them Arabs into battle and hope they die, or to give them something that they think they're going to get that they're never going to get in the first place.
Heavy.
He made it up. Those 72 warriors, it was a story to kind of invoke them into fighting, but only really to get that battle further away from where they're at. You translate that word in Arabic to Aramaic, it really means grapes. They're just talking about grapes in heaven, but in Arabic they're talking about them black women. That's how they hide it. They left it in the Quran.
That's heavy.
Connected to that story about Bilal, kind of mentioning that and then bringing it up. The first person to mention it was him.
That's heavy. And you know what? And I'm gonna show you how this thing gets a little interesting, right? Let me get back to this. The ancient Egyptians, when describing white people, called them red. In classical Arabic texts, they didn't call white people white, they called them red. Right? Now, listen to this. The same is true of our good old ancestors, the Tamahu. Their attire is sometimes different. Their heads are more or less hairy and adorned with various ornaments. Their savage dress varies somewhat in form, but their white complexion, their eyes and beard are all preserve the character of a race apart. I have this strange ethnographical series copied and colored. I certainly did not expect on arriving at Moloch to find sculptures that would serve as vignettes for the history of the primitive Europeans, if ever one has the courage to attempt it. Nevertheless, there is something flattering and consoling in seeing them, since they make us appreciate the progress we have subsequently achieved. That's Champion, he's actually telling you that the Tamahu were white people. They are literally white. Now look.
Khalil.
Yes, sir.
We have a question.
Sure.
Awesome Vibes asks a question. They ask, why some folks say Yakub is a scientist?
Well, from the teachers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he teaches us that Yakub took 59,999 black people to the island of Pilan or Patmos, and there at the island of Patmos or Pilan, he began a graftation process or sexual selection in order to create the white man. So in order to be able to do that, you would have to be a scientist. No more than what we say when we call our rulers and things a God. Scientist is God. Because in the messenger teachings, when we are making reference to the gods, we'll say scientists. The same thing, just interchangeable. I hope I answered that.
Honestly, definitely did. And it's sometimes interchanged with the word elder, right?
What'd you say, God?
It's sometimes interchangeable with the word elder, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I had found this brother breaking down the terminology Tamahu. He was translated from the ancient Kemetic tongue, and he was bringing what the word actually meant. And what he was showing is how it represented blood in the face, blood in the cheeks. The word Tamahu meant blood in the cheeks. And because the white people, same reason why the black Arabs used to look at them, is that they were, you know, they could show how the blood would come in their cheeks when they were angry or when they was in the sun. And so therefore, since it came into their face, that blood, it was associated with the terminology what they would eventually name them. And at the root of the word, it represents blood. So it was making the distinction of that blood, or from the genetic transfusion, or from that original make, is how this Tamahu comes about. In other words, they come from the blood of black people, genes of black people. So it's not whether if it's exactly matching what he said, it's when you look at the science and what he is speaking of within it is what you can research to find if it's true or false.
Arabic means totally or fully covered, also the same thing.
Yes, sir. It's right there. It's just that we don't, you know, it's there, but we too busy trying to catch a gnat with a pin.
Catch a gnat with a pin.
Instead of trying to find out what it actually means, not talking to the person that asked the question, just when people look at it overall, they're like, well, show me where the scientists actually did it at. Okay. When you look at the mythos in ancient Egypt, do you go look for Osiris? Do you go look for Heru? Or do you look at the science behind the mythos to see the deep qualifications, whether it's astronomically wise, and turning our chemical sciences, biologically? You look at that, of what it represents and what it's trying to give to us to study. That is what's important. That's what's important. But what's
says, thank you for the clarification.
No problem. But that's what's important. And if you notice, our people will go and read that all day and then break down what they're saying in Osiris and the astrology. That doesn't mean that. It means this and go into that. They ain't trying to break down, did the story actually occur? They trying to see the deep science in it. But then when they approach the messenger breakdown and using the same exact way of speaking and teaching, they said, now show me exactly where's it at. They ignore the science that's being taught in it clearly. I think that's unfair.
Try to tell you to go back to the same book you just quoted the teaching from to show you where you got the teaching from in that book.
Absolutely. I think that's unfair.
Most definitely unfair.
Like a person doing a disservice to themselves. Like there's always levels to this. Nobody knocks on that door and then stops at the first step and just stays there intentionally. All right.
Absolutely. I'm getting this thing on the Tamahu because I have it. I definitely have it.
If you have questions, please place your questions in the comment section. I'll try to stay on the comment section and bring the questions up as I can. Don't forget, hit the like button. Hit the like button for me, please. Hit the like button. In honest and gratitude.
That's I think I found it. I had found actual when I was researching the Tamahu, I had found the actual breakdown in full detail from an African brother that was breaking it down in the Bantu languages. And he was really getting it in. And he was showing that it is representing that they actually come from the blood. So it's talking about the genetics of the original man.
Mm.
And we get into that all because we studied the story of Yakub. And we find that that was actually taught in ancient Egypt, the science behind it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
All right. So when it comes to the questions of there was a God named Yakub, there definitely was. If we get into the questions of who this God named Yakub was, eventually he was swapped out for the worship of Yahweh. And then we understand where Shabazz actually is derived from and who the tribe that he actually make a reference to that went into that part. So what we are learning is that what people are laughing at actually leads us into a deeper study into the sciences of history. When the messenger gave us Islam, the messenger said the Islam of 1400 years ago was for them. We had to have Islam for us because it's us who don't know who we are. It's us that think that a white man gave birth to black people.
Mm. It's quite interesting that you say that you demonstrate the message you just demonstrated, because I remember reading the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's book, and I'm not gonna get into who he was talking to, but they said, "You teaching that Egyptian stuff." And when you really look at it, brother, man, a lot of ones will read the prophets, Noble Ali's literature, whom was an Egypt Arab student. They would read his literature and not even be able to see it, just as well as a lot of people would read the works of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and not detect it. Because we can see it in the conscious community where when certain individuals even mention that in conjunction with the names Elijah Muhammad and Noble Ali, they automatically go on the attack, not knowing what they're talking about.
It's because the enemy taught them that.
Yes, sir.
Because the enemy taught them to, one of the main things that the CIA put out with their program was to convince the rest of the Islamic world that the Nation of Islam were not Muslim. This is their direct statement in movement. This is what you get from the Freedom of Information Act. And that is work. So if we ain't Muslims, you definitely not Muslim.
Thanks.
And this is how it really is. And unfortunately, many, because of a lack of study, began to take on the coloring of the Orthodox Islamic world in their minds.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Is it all right?
Yes, sir.
In the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, especially when we speak about the God Tribe of Shabazz, there was one individual known as Shabazz, right?
Absolutely.
Could you delve into that and, expound on that so ones would understand, what it is, the context?
From the messenger point of view?
From the messenger point of view.
Okay, I'd rather read what he say.
Yes, sir.
I don't play no games with the God.
Yes, sir. And I don't think we should either.
Yeah, I don't play no games. If you know, I'd rather say what I'll read exactly what he say. 1 minute. Exactly his exact word. I don't want to put them in my own words. I want his words, his exact words.
I want to read it. Matter of fact, let me place this comment here, man. This is a profound comment from Raphael Moore. He says, people can't see that these teachings have a common source because their hearts
Absolutely.
are not pure and lack humility and sincerity. Simply put, the core of the problem is a character defect.
Absolutely.
What I would like to say is that is 100% right and exact.
One
Islam
thousand
to my
percent.
brother. Islam to my brother Raphael Moore, Raphael Hakeem Bey on Facebook. Y'all look him up because the brother's, I'm going to tell you something. The brother's very, very funny too. So if you need a smile, he's definitely one of the pages to go to because the brother will always put a smile on your face. Yes, sir.
I agree with you, and I'm gonna tell you something with what the brother said. You know, you and I, we build on that all the time.
Yes, sir.
We build on that all the time. It's imperative that we study
Fact.
because we have something for each other in these teachings. You see what I mean? It's just one continuous line, and people are seeing it as separate. That's like looking at one chapter of the Quran and you got it. It's 114 surahs in that book.
Right.
You have to complete it all. There's one continuous degree.
So we have someone in the chat. We have someone in the chat. Robert. Let's see. Let me get a better look over here. I'm not even gonna look at my computer. I'm gonna look at my phone. Let's see who this is. The brother is Robert Rand. No true story about a tribe of Shabazz. What else did he say? We are not Asiatic, and I beg to differ, sir.
It's deeper than what's at the surface, man.
By the way, Shabazz is not an Arabic word.
It's actually Persian.
Who said
It's
it was?
Persian.
Where we get Arabic from. Like their cousins.
What are you studying? I think study your African ancestors of the Nile Valley. Yes, I'm here. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to answer that, right?
Okay, let me put his questions up one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna deal with this one first.
Yeah, let me answer this first. That comes from a brother who obviously is not piecing together what I'm saying. Because again, if you understand what I'm saying, I told you that Heru is Shabazz, the Shabazz falcon bird in Elam. Heru and Kemet. Heru is the Shabazz falcon bird in Elam, which is Persia, which is present-day Iran. Elam was a black people, which was the Elamites or the Rasina. The followers of Horus was the Shemsuhor, which became known as the Messenu in ancient Egypt. That is Shabazz. The bird name in Iran or Elam is Shabazz. In Kemet, you have Heru. The followers is Shemsuhor. Within Kemet, they become the Messenu. It is the same exact people. It's just black people. So
Right.
that is the story of the tribe of Shabazz.
Robert Rand says it's pseudo. So Robert Rand.
And you can take that as pseudo, but that is what is documented to be.
So what we'll do is this, Robert Rand. We'll do another show on this particular topic, and we'll invite you on so you can, elaborate your portion. But what I would like you to do is not continue to spam my chat.
Oh, he's one of those.
Yeah, because he can speak that. It's just a matter of not to speak that from that perspective. I think that he is getting away from understanding. You have a Shabazz falcon bird that's right now in Persia, in Elam. He can look it up. Shahbaz. It's sitting there right then and there, right?
It helps to know more than one language too, and then to come with a comment that says, "Where is your primary
where
source?
is it documented?
Where is your primary source?" It takes more than one book to piece together things like this. There is no one primary source. You won't find everything up under the sun in one book. If that was the case, we would all be God about it, but apparently some of us are not.
One of the sources that I cited from was the Proceedings of the Society of Biblical Archaeology, January to December 1908.
Robert Rand, please look in my in the description of the title. My Facebook page and my IG is in the title and in the description. So if you want to contact me, please contact me. We can schedule you to come up, and you and Brother Khalil can have this discussion.
Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely not an Egyptologist, but I definitely go by what I'm reading. And as far as the brother talking about African history, I studied that as well, and African religious systems as well. It's not either or to me. It's all black, and it all traces back to our systems, and that's all that matters to me. It traces itself back.
So what we'll do is this, and Robert Rand, what I'm gonna do is post your comment right here. This will be the last time until we set up the dialogue for you and the brother. And allow me to mind you, I don't do debates on my channel. So it will be a dialogue. So you bring your sources.
Absolutely, Brother Rand. That's absolutely the truth. No, what he said is true. I do primary evidence, and I never said one book. The Sapti has a corpus of literature. He's telling the truth with that.
Indeed. So what we'll do.
God definitely know what he's talking about when he just mentioned that. I think that what he is doing, well, for instance, we know that the falcon, because the falcon is called Horus right now, which is of Heru in Arabia today. That's right now. So that's not nothing really to argue about with that, because how else would they get it? How did they get it? You have that name existing in ancient Egypt, and you have that name existing in the Arabic right now. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
Well, what I would like to do, because like I said, it's not going to be a debate. It's going to be a healthy dialogue. We present information, because I'm going to say this. Let's Think Podcast is not a monopoly on information.
Not at all. And the brother might break down something that I've never seen or so.
Exactly. So
I have no problem with that.
So that's why we want to have a dialogue and not a conversation of contention.
Mm.
You know, you can disagree all that you like to disagree. But what I strive to do and what we strive to do here at Let's Think Podcast is bring healthy and intellectual dialogues that will spark the minds and the intellect of those who are watching. So I here at Let's Think Podcast, I do not promote confusion, neither do I promote separation amongst the Asiatic family. Even though you may not agree with that term, I still use it.
Why not? Because, yes, sir, even with dealing with that term Asiatic, right? And we get caught up in that particular word. But when you have the blacks of that particular region, whether you look at the words of Herodotus, Strabo, and the rest of them, they called them Asiatic. They even used the term Asiatic Ethiopians. And that was for those who was in that particular region.
And then you even have terms like Afro-Asiatic. So.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing. What we are doing is getting caught up on what occurs later. But
Right.
when you're looking at the original blacks of that particular region, they will be considered Asiatics in this day, because that's just, what white people would see them as, right? Like right now, you have those in Northern Africa is written down in the census as Caucasian. Are they Caucasian in Northern Africa? You have whole parts of India that are called Caucasian. They're not. They're definitely not. So when we look at Asiatic and you see the works of Herodotus, Strabo, and the rest of them, they called them Asiatic Ethiopians, which is signifying blacks that are over the Red Sea, coming from southern Yemen and going all the way up into India. So that's a terminology of designation of area, not of the people themselves, as far as a racial type,
Sure. Hey,
but I'm pretty sure he read that.
Hey,
I
listen.
know that if he read that works, then he know that they use the terminology Asiatic Ethiopians.
Yes, sir. Islam
They
to
definitely
Raphael the
use that
Moor.
term.
Raphael the Moor say the royal falcon is Heru in ancient Egypt, or Horus.
Mhm.
Same thing. Right
The
and
same
exact,
people.
beloved. Right and exact.
Absolutely. And I hope they don't think it's taking anything from ancient Kemet. I know that's the source of everything moving. That's the gods right there, But I'm just dealing with a particular reality of where that terminology, that word Shabazz, is being used and who it's making reference to.
Hey, salute to Wise Dome TV. Wise Dome TV, salute. Peace to the God.
Peace, God.
Peace, Shabazz. Peace to the God. Everybody go look up Wise Dome TV on YouTube. Please do that. If you got a moment, go look up Wise Dome YouTube TV. You know what I'm saying? Wise Dome TV on YouTube. Hit that up and subscribe. View the videos, share, comment, like. Let's get this information in the algorithm. Islam, peace.
Mm.
Hebrew is a concept. Hebrew is a concept,
Okay.
brother.
It can mean more than one thing, and one of those things might
No,
be
it's a concept.
And
And again, exactly how he used the terminology that Heru or whoever was is a concept. That is the very thing that I said, that when you approach the messenger teachings, you should approach things from a certain perspective. But you're approaching it from a literalization standpoint. But you can study all of the African teachings in Africa, Yoruba. You can study everything in ancient Egypt, and you'll approach that and go and delve into the deeper sciences of it. But then approach the messenger teachings and say, no, literally show me that. Show me a man named Shabazz walking down the street. But you will approach the ancient teachings instead of understanding we black people. Go and look at the teachings and then extract from it its truths that leads to the science and spiritual science from a psychological perspective, spiritual perspective, astronomical perspective. Mm. The messenger said at the birth of Yakub, two heavenly bodies collided. Mm. That brings us into an astronomical science. There's a science there that just can't be shooed away. But if you're not giving him the same credit from the same way that you approach the ancient Egyptian mystery systems and looking at the mythos and the folklore in order to grab out of it the biological, the scientific, the astronomical sciences that exist within it, you always approach that as if, a Christian approaching the Quran. Mm-hmm. Instead of you approaching it and looking at it from the thought of how we teach, as a people and have always taught, using metaphors, using folklore, mythos, in order to teach the deeper inner mysteries and sciences. Because you have to remember, when Master Muhammad gave it to Elijah, he giving it to people that could barely read and write. So it has to come in a manner for which even a baby will find it hard to earn. So if we so big men, and we are so deep, we can't now sit down and look at it from a larger level and begin to take and extract from out of it the sciences that was hidden within the kernel of it, that was not yet mature, was not yet able to be delved into by the babies of that time. Then maybe we ain't so deep.
So I asked this question, brother. I want you to answer the question and jump into it, brother. Because I've asked you this question before. And I think Master Fard Muhammad and Elijah asked you this question before.
Amy, you can't do this hollering.
Who is the original man?
All right, say that again, God.
I think Elijah Muhammad asked you this question as well as Master Fard Muhammad asked you this question. Who is the original man?
The Asiatic black man to make it on the cream planet Earth, God of the universe.
Talk to us about that, bro.
See, that's the thing. I think that, and just to make a correction on a historical point, the original, 1 minute. Thank you. So, I'm teaching. Thank you. Yeah, God, it's my apologies. I'm talking to my son. All right. So look, the original degree for which we have, of course, had to exist at one time was, who is the original man? The original man being the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner of the cream planet Earth, father civilization, God of the universe. Somewhere within that time period, we know that father civilization was in that degree, because we find that in the FBI files in that degree. At some point in time, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad removed father civilization from the degree. But we see Minister Farrakhan and earlier ministers actually citing that degree with father civilization in place. So at some point in time, the messenger removed father civilization out, at least had to be in the 50s. It was no longer there, because the degrees that they took from him in the 40s still have father civilization in it. But you have elder gods who received their degrees in the temples in the 50s with father civilization removed. It was gone. The reason why the Most Honorable Elijah, as they taught, the reason why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad removed father civilization, because the black woman was not to be excluded, but included in who is the original man. The messenger taught us that ever since you had man, you had woman. So therefore, just like in our lesson, lesson number 2, question number 1, who made the Holy Quran and Bible? How long ago? We touched about Islam renewal history, 25,000 years. The Holy Quran and Bible made by the original people, who is Allah, the supreme being or black man of Asia. When you go inside of a restaurant, do they not say Mr. and Mrs.? And it gives the man last name. So the woman is recognized and included within the man. That's why that degree is like that. I just wanted to get that history, because you have some nation gods on earth that think father civilization is with them and it wasn't with us. But in reality, it was with us, and it began with us. And the messenger took it out and they kept it in, which is no problem, because the messenger never gave a mandate to remove father civilization. We just seen lessons coming out during that time period that had father civilizations and some did not. But it's definitely from the Nation of Islam, that degree, in that particular extent.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, on the teachings of who is the original man, there's a million books on this particular subject matter, whether that subject matter from Dr. Wesley with the Book of God. We have a million historical books that can teach on who is the original man. That is documented, and it's something that I don't think that can be arguable. What we see is being ignored is the spiritual pretense and science behind who is the original man and its original inclination into the higher degrees and higher sciences once you come out of the literal reality of it and premise for which is the study of all things, right? And when we deal with the original man from that particular extent, then you are talking about the original state of being of consciousness, the original state of being of our essence and of our creation. But let me say this. The teachings of who is the original man is inside the Holy Quran. Hold up. That's what I wanted to touch on, because we deal with this all the time, but we ignore that one thing because they believe in some type of manner that when we say who is the original man, that somehow we don't see this inside of the Holy Quran. And I have to say that's not particularly true.
I got slower.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It's definitely there. And I had a discussion with a brother who followed Orthodox from Africa. And we went into a very deep subject matter in regards to this, where in the Hadith and the Holy Quran, the black man is the original man. So there's a few different stages I would like to go through with this. I would like to go through the Quranic, then I would like to go into the science of it, and then go into the spiritual, the reality of who is the original man and how the particular sciences that we have that can actually develop us back into that original station. Because when you read the works of Ibn Arabi, it teaches clearly of the original man in the spiritual sense. When we look at things such as Salat and all of these formations, all of this is to cleanse us and to purify us so that we can once again be that original man. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that we, the American so-called Negro, are not a make and model of the original man because we have been experimented on by the devil for 400 years. So what that tells us is the original man didn't look like us, and the original man didn't sound like us, and the original man didn't think like us. So we know that original man had to become something more than what we have been led to believe is the original man, which is just beyond just looking at it from a literal perspective. 1 minute, I'm just pulling up my thing. Wow. All right. Yeah, here we go. Thank you. One minute, brothers. Give me one little bit more patience. Almost there. Yeah. I know I always lick my lips, man. It's because my lips are addicted to Blistex. It is addicted. I promise you. It is addicted to Blistex, man. I have not been able to break it.
I'm addicted to CarMax, beloved.
I respect it. I can't. You know how people say you shouldn't have this and have that. Let me tell you something, man.
And I'm not even promoting
real.
CarMax, but got to have it.
Yeah, that Blistex is crazy. And then they put a little bit of sweetness in it to make you keep licking your lips. So then you start licking your lips, so you wind up getting it off because the sweetness all in it, man. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just found it. Thank you for your patience.
And salute to the chat. Everybody in the chat, salute to the chat. I appreciate y'all. And I'm glad that I have a little bit more energy than the last show because I was fading out on y'all on camera, and I apologize. I was very tired that day. I was exhausted, but hey, I had to push the show out. So I thank y'all for tapping in with me, and you know we're gonna keep the content coming.
Okay. So if it can be, this is something that I had wrote pertaining to the original man and showing it in the actual Holy Quran itself, because it's in the book. Okay?
Yes,
it's definitely in the book. All right. Here it is. All right. So one of the arguments that is within the Sunnah is that Allah doesn't have an image and Allah doesn't have a likeness, which is not the Sunnah, because the Sunnah actually teaches the exact opposite, that Allah does have an image and Allah does have a likeness.
Whoa.
And that in reality, the likeness of Allah, the image and likeness of Allah is Adam, or a black man. That's according to them. Let me say it. Let me show you. All right. Now we know that in the Holy Quran that Allah teaches that Allah created man from black mud that he fashioned in a shape, right? Now look at this, which means this first man was black. Yet then Allah orders the angels to bow to this black man. What does this mean? The root word malak means in length the powers of the heavens or the universe, not actually beings such as angels in the religious sense. Angels here represent the forces and powers of the universe according to the Arabic. So in reality, the powers of the heavens or the universe was made subservient to this created black man. Who else wields the power or forces of the universe or creation but Allah? Man is called Khalifa. Khalifa means successor, leader, and ruler, or one who stands in the place of a thing. So who is a man standing in the place of as a ruler? It is Allah. So how can someone sit in the place of a thing and not wield its power and its authority? Now look at this. In Muslim 26:12, narrated by Abu Hurairah, the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said this: when anyone fights his brother, let him avoid the face, for Allah created Adam in his image. This gets interesting. Look at this. Al-Bukhari and Muslim narrates him again. He states that Allah created Adam in his image, and he has 60 cubits tall. Now look, what color is this Adam? Al-Talib in his book, Fiqh al-Luqa, states the following: if the blackness of a person exceeds Asmar, then he is Adam. In other words, the man that's made in the image and likeness of Allah is a black man. He causes the forces of the universe, known as angels, if you was to read the Holy Quran, chapter 15, right? Surah 15, if I'm correct, I believe it's 23. Let me pull it up. Holy Quran. So 15. There you go, right there. Boom. Surah 15:26. Surely we made man from the essence of black mud fashioned in the shape. Then when you get in 28, he starts to mention of him causing the angels to become subservient to this man.
Right.
But we getting caught up in angels as something being some spiritual beings floating around out in space, which is not necessarily what it is actually saying from that perspective. And what they do, they take that and they take it out of context. But if the first man that's being created from out of the darkness is actually a black man, then is that not, and that black man is then given the powers of the universe in order to be subservient to him. Well, doesn't that then mean that the black man is God?
We say it in the beginning of the Quran, God.
Absolutely.
Break that first word down into its three constituent parts and turn Bismillah into Ba, energy, Ism, manifest as or from
God.
Allah. Ba, Ism, Allah, energy, manifest God. It's right there. So if we don't begin everything as if we are that, if we don't begin everything to actualize and trace stuff within us to embody it, to be that, then never realize that's who you are. But every time you open your Quran and say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you're telling yourself that. This prayer as if you are that energy made manifest from the only place where it could have came from. Allah.
Absolutely. Because the Holy Quran makes that distinction of the black man being the first of creation and the best of its creation. It's impossible. And this was my argument to him. Do two dogs give birth to a cat? Do cats give birth to a mouse? It doesn't. Everything gives birth to its own likeness and kind. Then, if man is the Khalifa of Allah, and man is made in the image and likeness of Allah, then would not Allah give to its creation and give birth or create that for which is in its image and likeness of its own kind and own make? It's impossible. So they will make an argument of Khalifa and believe that Khalifa is like in a religious situation, and they'll make it like, well, that means that he gave him power. But that's not necessarily what the word Khalifa actually means. And what they do, they ignore what the word actually means and the reality behind it. For instance, this is my discussion on that to its best point. The Holy Quran, though they make a singularity out of Allah, it is pantheistic. Now, Muslims who don't want to live in reality, the Holy Quran has pantheistic aspects in it, which is several gods. Just like it has several gods being mentioned and represented in a singular form. Thus, you have the terminology they translate as Allahumma, as O Allah. But Allahumma is the same word as Elohim. It is the same word. It is multiplicity being represented in singularity. It is the same exact word.
It's the concept of the calls Wahdat al-Wujud, or the unity of being. But we're talking about being, everything that's in existence has the exact same thing on the inside of it, whether we can see it or not, or feel it or not. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist.
Ooh, the guy be getting it in. Hey, listen, when the guys start building, I'll be listening, paying attention to what he's saying, right?
Yes, sir.
That was myself, man.
It sounds like Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Yeah. That part.
Brother, it sounds like you was from Arabia.
Huh? I'm from, brother man, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina.
I know where you from, man. I'm gonna correct it. It sounds like you from Tuba, that you live in Senegal. That you've been in Tuba for a while, brother.
Yeah. Hey man, Barke Sheikh Sufi Ba. Barke
Yes, sir.
Ba. You know, he's a great teacher. He's a great instructor. You know, and he's so. And one thing, man, Sheikh Sufi Ba is always teaching. No, he really lives this. So, everything that I've grasped from the Tariqa, the Muridiya, or the Barke Sheikh Sufi Ba. Yes, sir. And then this brother right here, Barke,
Oh,
this
yeah,
brother
monster.
right here, it guides me along the way. I communicate with this brother on a regular basis. You know what I mean? And I value his wisdom. And anybody that doesn't know him, please jump on his Facebook page, Tavares King. He's always dropping something controversial that'll spin your wheels. But it's very healthy to spin your wheels sometimes. So go check the brother out. Khalil, you always putting something on Facebook that ruffles somebody's feathers. Yeah.
I think that is necessary.
And I do too. I do too. Just like I feel as though this dialogue must take place because I wrote a book called what was the name of that book? Wow, I can't even remember the name of the book right now. But the name of the exact title, but the name of the book was about, as it was a comparative analysis between the teachings of the Prophet Noble Ali and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
And
we are not that much different.
It is a must, I feel, for the sake of Asiatic people, not only just people, but that's going to put it in context for us as members of both organizations, that we gain a cohesiveness. We don't have to agree on everything. No one agrees on everything.
Absolutely.
But we need to gain a cohesiveness because the program, our brother Sharif Aniyal Bey always gives this analogy. It's when the teachers pointing towards the moon and the students are focused on his finger and not the moon. So this is, in my humble opinion, the issue. We're looking at the finger of the individual and not the essence of the message.
I agree.
So I feel as though it is a must that we, as an Asiatic people, not just, the Moorish Temple of America and the Nation of Islam, not just, us as a people, we need a cohesiveness. And if ones are not watching, and even before I say this, I'm talking about Prophet Noble Ali, that we fear not of anything that we see nor hear. So I'm just relaying the information. Things about to get serious, people. I hope that you're watching. Matter of fact, I don't want you to watch the news. Watch what's going on in your local store.
Around the corner.
Please watch what's going on in your local store. See, paying attention to, we like to pay attention to the algorithm of the internet. But pay attention to the algorithm of your store. Your grocery store, where you go get your food and your nutrition. Pay attention. something is happening. And it's been happening for a while, but it's coming into, and I think that we should be paying attention to this before a lot of people find themselves in a situation where, you know. So
I agree with that.
yes, sir.
I agree with that completely. I teach the unification.
Yeah, and it's the more, brother, it's the only way.
Yes, sir. And I was reading the comments with Brother Robert. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad actually taught that Africa is the mother of civilization.
Mm.
He actually taught it.
Mm.
What he has to understand again, what does that mean though? Because we're looking at, we consider Arabia being Northern Africa. That's what we see Arabia as. If we're dealing with it from reality, then that's exactly what that will be. We're not dealing with the false geographical sciences that these white boys have put in place. They done created an entire Middle East. They done created Suez canals. The Red Sea came about through natural reality, if we accept that aspect. And that brought about the separation of states. But when we look at Punt and you look at Queen Hatshepsut, she was taking her boats and docking them over there in Yemen when she was getting her spices and her incense from Punt. Now, this is in her own writings, right? So she wasn't on this side of Africa. She was docking her ships over there, what would be problem right now in Yemen. And she was getting her incense and things like that from them, which were that was Punt. You have the Somalians right now still doing rituals and dress that you found only in ancient Egypt. So it brings more speculation that maybe Somalia was Punt and that it was another branch of it over there in Yemen. And this was the same exact people. You know?
Hints at it in the Hadith too, when he talks about the Ethiopians or the Somalis performing this dance right in front of them, saying Muhammadun Rasulullah.
Mhm.
But the Sahabas and the companions are like, well, Prophet Muhammad, like, peace be upon you, why are they doing this like war dance in front of us? Like, it's startling us. Muhammad's just like, no, they're dancing and they're singing, they're chanting something. But what are they chanting? But skip past that exact same thing with them doing their rituals with the sticks and their shields and whatnot that they were doing then, that he documented, that Queen documented, they're still doing today on both sides of the Red Sea.
Both sides of the race.
Absolutely, because it's the same exact people. It's still being documented today. Look at this. If it could be seen, can it be seen?
No, we can't see it.
I'm gonna send it to you, all right?
All right.
And maybe you can put it up. I'm gonna send it to you right now. And I'm just gonna show how these people, right now as we speak today, is still performing the ritual today in Somalia. So I lean more towards them actually being of that than anything else. So I'm gonna send this to the God right here.
And I'll put it in the chat right now.
There you go.
So ones can do the knowledge. I'll put it in the chat right now. The God sent it to me, I sent it to y'all.
You got it, God?
How you send it to me?
I sent it to you in text. Would it rather be better if I sent it to you through Facebook?
No, it's downloading right now. I'm finna send it to him now. Yes, sir. Oh man. Put the because I can't put. I need a link to put in the chat, but
You see that picture?
yes, sir.
Are they performing the rites from ancient Egypt?
The same thing.
Okay.
Kind of like the way they put their hands up. It kind of looked like Salat. Look
It's
more
still
like
the same. It's the same weapons. It's the same dance. They do the same exact ritual.
Yeah.
In Somalia today that you found on the sculptures and painted in ancient Egypt. Same people.
Yes, sir.
And them same people had a lineage in reality over across the Red Sea in modern day Southern Arabia or Yemen. It's the same people. It's not separate.
And Sister Dana Marnici, she details this so brilliantly. She details it so brilliantly. So ones who are paying attention to the podcast, please go check out Sister Dana Marnici.
Oh yeah, she speaks about it.
Yeah.
See, this is where things get interesting at, because I'm reading in the comments, the brother Street Sufi, the Asiatic black man are Aborigines, people of Papaya, New Guinea, and the Andamanese Islands, who are the remnants of ancestral North Africans who left out of Africa near Sudan and Upper Egypt 80,000 BP, which is true. Brother Robert Rand answered, that's not our people.
Huh?
Didn't be my name.
These are purely black people over there. So,
the question
I
is,
understand from which he come from, because there's a group that only see Africa, and that's it. And I respect that from that perspective. But they don't see, like, that's black people in Arabia, black people in Papua, because right now they are murdering our people there. Papua, they are murdering them. And I mean, they are the Indonesians, they are killing these people in order to take the land. And if you were to take that black man that they beat and they killing, and you put him in America, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
The fact,
but that's the reason why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked that particular question. When the Savior asked that question, why did the devil call our people African? That's the deepness of that question. Because they wanted us to believe that the only people we got are the people of that continent and are all savage. Not that we are savage, but that's the pictorial images they put. But they also wanted to break us down to see us as independent. So in reality, we get caught up in the game that they play. Oh, you a black man. You in India, you not really black. Even though they done traced the Tamil language back to Africa. Even though they done traced it. Even the Sanskrit, which is a mixture and not even the original tongue there, is traced back. But they'll say that's not black people. And Herodotus clearly called them Asiatic Ethiopians and said the only difference is that they had straight hair. That's what he said.
They stay in a different environment long enough, then certain things change, right?
Same people, though. When they find the Aborigines in Australia, that's not black people?
Yes, that's us.
I'm pretty sure. So when they killing us in India, when they found the original blacks in Arabia, when they found them in Palestine, the original blacks in Pakistan, and all throughout them regions, that's not original people? What about us who all over them islands? Or the oldest black tribes they done found in the rainforest? Off of the coast of India.
You just shared it on your Facebook page too.
Yeah, these ain't black people. They not black because they don't have Negroidian features.
Yeah.
That is the trick of the devil.
Yeah,
that's the trick of the devil.
He most definitely just dropped an Aborigine tribe first coming in contact with Europeans.
They still wear fur all over their body.
Yeah.
And running and not speaking language.
Nah, they speaking pitches and tones.
Yeah, that's it.
But that's what we speak in pitches and tones. We just can't even recognize.
Right. And we not going to say they black. They black. So we have to get caught out of that thing, man, that divides us.
Yes,
we
sir.
want people.
That's a fact.
We want people. I don't care where we at. The messenger said, wherever black people at, black or on this planet, that's your brother. That's your sister.
So, beloved,
mm-hmm.
I wanna do a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got an idea with you and this brother sitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
The brother has been, what can I say? He's been displaying and presenting very, very what can I say, controversial information.
To him?
He's saying
that's not controversial. It's the truth.
No. It's controversial. No, wait a minute.
I'm only playing.
You know, it's controversial because it's not the norm. So me and we've already talked about it. We're gonna do a show on the Kaaba. We're gonna do a show on the Kaaba. So, because the brother had some very startling finds, like to the point it's almost breathtaking.
Haram. All right.
And like, I would love for you. Are you willing, brother Bilal?
Oh yeah, man. I can't take none of this stuff with me, man.
Yes, sir.
What you're trying to do is upset the cycle.
Well, I'll wait till after
they want us to believe.
I'll wait till after Ramadan. We'll give them their little color, let them have their thing, and then the day after Ramadan.
We're not waiting until after Ramadan.
Hey, say less.
We're not.
Say less.
No, we're not. No, we're not. It's like I would like to get this in this week.
Man, you still have the Arab world not wanting to accept the root and source of Arabic being from black people.
Yes.
Well, you know what?
You even had Budge who admitted that the source of Arabic was from Egypt. When you look at the Demotic script of ancient Egypt, I'm gonna tell you now, you would think you reading Arabic.
Hey, listen, and I want to send a shout out to this brother too, Commission Adab Harafan. He has been on that subject for so long, and I must say that he's done a scholarly work in that field. So, Commission Adab Harafan of the Moorish American government, Brother Shahid El, brother, I'd like to get you on the show to talk about that topic right there. Since our brother Khalil Allah, has so elegantly and sneakily brought that up and slid it into the conversation, I'd like for a brother who I consider an expert on that dialogue to come up too. So we need to get the brother Commission Adab Harafan Shahid El on the show. Yes, sir.
I mean, agreed. I mean, with that one on the title, yeah, we found us at the beginning of all of them too, except the oldest one. But either way, the oldest one, who else would they have learned how to build constructors from other than the ones who were already building things like that? Come over to Mountain know how to do no stuff like that. So who is the original man? Yeah,
and look, y'all brothers that have us up all night, right? But I know Khalil got something else to share. I can tell how he tapping over there on that computer
No, what I'm doing is I'm just responding to something that this his brother has sent me, man. It's I don't know, man. It's just that it's a lot of information, man, and a lot of studying that have to do, you know. But at some point in time, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man, I'm gonna withdraw very heavily.
I mean, it's a time and a place for
Not
everything.
right now, but it's coming. And it's a reason for that because there's reality. There's a serious reality, man, that we have to develop inside.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just becomes very important. And when you get deeper into that, deeper, you become withdrawn.
Yes, sir.
Because that state of heart is real.
I've been witness.
That is a very real thing. So once you start really getting there, that's it. You know, like when people be like they bored and all that, I don't get bored.
Not me.
I am never bored. There's
Nope.
too much for me to study in myself.
And it's so like let's think about this. Even though sometimes certain people's thoughts are not probably are not the most healthiest thing to entertain,
Mm-hmm.
but look how many thoughts that you have that move through your mind that you can entertain versus anything that's in the outside stimuli.
So
Let me tell you,
the Bible tells us is the greatest jihad is not you going to go kill somebody at war. The greatest jihad is you never involving your mind in anything that is not proper. If you're gonna think about anything, think about not doing that.
that's the true Ramadan.
Yes, sir.
That's the true Ramadan to actually reach that particular state. That's why the messenger said that only the principles will remain in the new world of Islam. Only the principles. So
Not
we have to come to an understanding. What do that mean?
Not the customs of the tradition.
Right, because that becomes irrelevant once you understand what it means. Once you have developed it in yourself, that becomes irrelevant. To me, it don't make sense for me to go spend thousands of dollars to go Hajj. I don't need to fall out by touching the Kaaba. I'm definitely not kissing the black stone.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not doing it.
How many other people done kissed it?
And that may be, but I'm definitely not. So
I'm just saying, bro.
in no form am I. I'm not kissing a black stone. Let me tell you when I kiss a black stone. When I kiss my wife.
Oh yeah, most definitely. The most beautiful black stone.
That's the black stone, brother. You know what I mean?
Just
in myself.
He really just made it
of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when you understand that, you don't feel a need to go travel to a Kaaba.
Right.
Because I understand what the Kaaba means. I know what that means.
What does it mean, brother? Talk to me.
The Kaaba is me. It is my heart. So it doesn't matter if you turn me east, west, north, south. The physical body can turn in any direction it wants to, but my intention is only in one direction.
Oh man, the circling of the squaring of the circle.
That's it. All that other stuff, that's cute.
We walk around circles. Well, they walk around circles around that cube, right?
Yes, sir.
Wasting $47,000 when the inward journey is free.
The free transportation.
Free. And it's open book.
Free transportation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Literally free. The Quran tells you that's where it's at, but people will glaze right over it when Allah says to us, hey man, I don't fit in the heavens, so stop looking up there. I don't fit in the earth, so stop looking down there. Allah fits in the heart of a true believer. Hey man, clean this thing up. Polish this thing up. And once you get to a point to where you constantly are feeling that, you're constantly in that presence, 5 daily prayers are for people who are forgetting Allah and need to be reminded.
Whoa.
When you get to that space and you never forget.
Whoa. And you know what? That's going to be... Hey, yo. Hey, you know what? Say that one more time.
The 5 daily prayers are for people who need to be reminded about Allah. I have to think about what I'm doing in this time slot and make sure I get it all done so that I can go 10 minutes up the street to go to the mosque to pray to Allah so I can get rejuvenated again to go back out into the world for 2 hours and be out there dealing with the stuff that's going on outside and then get brought back down and then go back to the mosque to be reminded that there's something higher again. There's something higher that I'm looking for even just in the mosque. It's outside too.
That's the absolute fact of it. Because when you are ascertained salat, there's no need to go and do 5 daily prayers. The 5 daily prayers is to train you, to make you upright.
That's your 24 days right there.
Right. If you are existing in the remembrance of Allah, and let me show you how deep that goes. The remembrance of Allah is not necessarily using the terminology Allah. The remembrance of Allah is thinking right, doing right, and acting right. That is the remembrance of Allah in full focus. That's the remembrance of Allah. Not whether if you drop, listen, the normal salat time is 15 minutes. You up, you gone. In 15 minutes, you haven't stopped the jumping of your monkey mind. So what you doing is just repeating a prayer. And like a Christian, you believe that you receive benefit in 15 minutes. The only way that that thing works is if you enter the state of khushu. If you do not enter the state of deep contemplation, where heart and mind cohesiveness is ascertained, then the alchemical transmutation of the heart cannot occur. So what you're doing is you're just doing some rituals. What the messenger is saying in the hereafter, the only thing that will remain is the principle. Why? Because you have ascertained the state of what those rituals intend. You don't need to go to Mecca to visit the Kaaba because you are the Mecca. You're always in the presence of Allah when you are who you need to be. You don't need to give zakat. Your compassion is the zakat.
Come on, bro.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Your love
This is the reality of it. You don't need to fast in Ramadan. You are the personification of what the fast means and intended to create. That's what it is. You don't need to go there and drink from the well of Zemzem that was known in ancient Egypt mythos as the well of Simsim.
The one they drinking that water in the wrong spot. We'll say that for the next podcast.
We got to get things right, you know? You got to get things right because it's really, the ancient Egyptians called it the well of Simsim. It was a part of a mythos. The S is transliterated as a Z when you go into the Arabic.
Yeah, the Zamzam.
Sim, a type of or level of
Or it's pronunciate with a Z. Better to say that. What'd you say, God?
Wasn't it like a level of or level that a person could reach in the priesthood? Like there's a sim priest that's mentioned. I forget which.
Absolutely. That's also in Egypt. But when they talk about it, it was at the meeting of a sacred river. So it was the well of Simsim. It really was in the mythos of ancient Egypt. Literally, 1,000%. But a lot of things that's in Islam is from ancient Egypt.
Right.
A lot of things.
Right. Look at the Arabic letter Nun.
You read the Quran. If you read the Quran, you got an ancient history that's from ancient Egypt that's sitting in the book.
And all of those letters are hieroglyphs also. And I
Yeah,
just
1000%.
we can look at them
We know
and
the mother. We know the mother for which it rises.
Mhm.
Yeah, it ain't. You can't play no games. You know, you got listen. The mother from which it rises is who's the author. You know,
Actual
he is
fact.
definitely the author.
Yes, sir. Well, look, brothers. We've been on an hour, 54 minutes, going on 2 hours now. Bro, you know, we already got business to handle to tomorrow. So
Yeah, I'm gonna get at it.
yes, sir. Brothers, we just established 2 shows tonight in the stream. We're gonna have the one on Petra. Yeah, on Petra. But I don't think they heard of that before. So
I came under attack when I first put up Petra.
yes, sir.
I put up the mosque and everything else, and I'm gonna tell you, they attacked me like crazy on Maliki Fault.
Well, tell them they can get ready. Well,
we got some extra tools in our tool belt this go around though, guys.
Yes, sir.
yeah. So we're gonna do one on Petra. You know, we're gonna investigate your Kaaba site.
Because I'm gonna tell you now, ancient Mecca was not called Becca.
While
They
the
say that it was not called Becca. The Hadith say that, but we have a Becca.
Okay.
There is somewhere called Becca.
Hey,
literally.
Listen, you know, Let's Think podcast brings the controversial conversations. You know, if it's if the common world, like, yeah, we bring that. Let's bring that and let's stand on it. Let's drive home the truth to us a part of every part. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
And Khalil, I got a show I want you to do, but I'm not even gonna say it on this stream because when you do it, I already.
God, they're gonna make you talk about Michael Jackson.
Huh?
Oh, don't do that, man. You know that's my man, man. Don't do that. I'm telling you.
Say, Bilal?
I say you're gonna make him talk about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know that's my man. Don't do
That's
that.
all love, bro.
I love Michael Jackson. Don't listen, man.
Oh, yo, bro, that's my man.
Brother. I love Michael Jackson.
Man, that's my bro. Mike is my man. That's my bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, listen, man.
Off the wall is
being a young boy sitting up at that black and white TV.
Hey, listen, bro.
Color, baby.
Listen, bro. Off the Wall is still one of my favorite albums of all time.
Classic.
So, you know, I'm a Mike Jack fan. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I would like to. Mm-hmm. Go ahead,
all
sir.
these things going on with Diddy, no Diddy. We can't do the Diddler, no Diddy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, so many things going on.
But we gonna definitely get it in on what you were saying in regards to the lessons.
Yes, sir.
We gonna definitely build on all them lessons.
Supreme Wisdom is going to be a series.
Yeah, we gonna go in.
One topic that he's dealt with. You know.
Yeah, we're gonna go in.
And we're gonna go in. And he's gonna go lesson for lesson.
Yeah, we're gonna go in on them degrees.
Yes, sir. So
people better get they better get their almanacs, better get some study into that astronomy, better get ready into some of that history, and we're gonna get it in. And you're gonna need some things.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And we got Sheikh Bilal. Oh man. What he bring is like, you don't even know how to take Sheikh sometimes, man. You don't even know how to take the Sheikh sometimes. You don't know if he's smooth talking you or
no, all you gotta do is start the conversation.
And he gonna get it.
It's gonna come. It's gonna roll off his head like,
bro, he a scientist. He a true scientist, bro. It's one of my sheikhs, man, and I truly honor that brother.
That's the God body, man.
And before we go, I want to say this to y'all. I love y'all, brother.
We love you too, brother.
You know what I'm saying? And I want to make that more cool. You know,
Yes, sir.
We made everything cool. You know what I'm saying? People that made gangsterism cool, then they made killing cool. You know what I'm saying? All these things that are detrimental to our existence and detrimental to our productivity and our progress and our advancement, to the point where, we don't even hear the true words of upliftment and the true words of salvation, and I can give you one word, and that word is love. So I want to say I love y'all, my brothers, and I appreciate y'all for everything y'all do. I appreciate you for the work that you put in your personal life, not only in your personal life, but in the work that you do amongst the community and also here on Let's Think podcast, because both of you brothers have been here multiple times. So, I just want to extend my honors and my gratitude and my flowers to you brothers. And once again say that love is the savior of the world. And I love these two brothers. Islam.
Islam, God, hey God. Man, cover up that square and compass on your neck, man.
Let there be light.
No, I know.
Light on top of light.
They don't see the square and compass on there, right?
Well,
so
I mean,
circle 7, right?
But see what that I'm gonna give this jewel right here. When you square a circle, certain points of the square touch the circle. Right?
Absolutely.
If you look at this right here, those quadrants, those gates, those openings, that's where the square touches the circle. I'm not gonna say anything else.
Yeah.
Praise due to Allah, the person that shakes 7 Islam male.
All day.
Alhamdulillah. Hey, just draw you a circle and put you a square around it and see where the points touch.
Absolutely.
I mean that's a simple illustration.
Mm-hmm.
And I know one to say it's too easy. I don't get it. And sometimes the simplest and in the most simplest demonstrations, is the most depth. And then if you don't grab that, it wasn't meant for you.
Absolutely.
That's all it means. That's all it means. So, Khalil,
yes,
tell them where they can find you at, because you got one brother. He wants to tell him where he can find you at. He in the comments.
Oh, Khalil Ali /Allah.
Yes, sir.
I'm on Facebook.
Yes,
Khalil Ali /Allah. You should be able to find me.
The dog.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, listen, man, I'm always up to learning. I'm not, a lot of people say, I got a lot of knowledge, but I still don't know how to change front brakes.
Me either.
The front brother, he was back when
not for me.
Hey,
I started trying to do it, man. I was down there for 9 hours. A crackhead walked up to me and was like, all right, man, $20. I was like, I'm tired of paying to get these brakes fixed, man. I need to know myself.
I'm gonna tell you something. If I tell you how ignorant I am about a vehicle, yeah, that would definitely put me. Yeah, so I'm not gonna tell you how ignorant I am about a vehicle, but
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but and we like nice vehicles too. We like the nice ones too, but don't know nothing about maintenance. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I tell y'all to choose your lane of investigation wisely. Yeah, but again,
peace to the living gods as always, man.
Sheikh Bilal, tell the people how they can find you.
Same place. I put a lot of my info up on Facebook. My government name is up there right now, but I really only took down the Sheikh Bilal and went back to my government name for a little social experiment, but that thing's over. So starting tonight, they'll be able to search Sheikh Bilal and they'll still be able to get right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I would take your link and place it in the comment section, and I will edit the description section and place you in it. And Khalil, please send me your cash app so I can place your cash app also in the description and in the comment section. So we can continue to do this work. And guess what we're gonna have too? I want to bring you, Sheikh, Bilal, and Sharif. We're gonna do the book club episode where we bring all the books and all the information. Just give the people a plethora of books, a plethora of authors, a plethora of information to find, so they can, that's going to be my contribution. So if y'all are willing to contribute to that, love y'all. So we can get this information to the people, because you got a plethora of books, I have a plethora of books, Sharif have a plethora of books, and we would like to share them so the listening audience can have, an open invitation to what we are privy to study.
Oh yeah.
With God.
I have no problem. I will give 1,000,000 books.
I'm gonna tell you, the first book I'm gonna give you is Message to the Black Man, because it's the first one I read.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yes, sir. So y'all go ahead and get Message to the Black Man. Please go order that. So please go order that. You hear me? Please go order that. So, Sheikh Bilal, I appreciate you coming on, because you was a surprised guest. You came in left field, and I always appreciate your energy, brother. And
much love.
I asked y'all, would y'all be willing to do a show on Zikr?
Oh yes.
Better get it in.
The science of the Zikr.
Yes, sir.
And, I will. I have Sheikh Bilal reach out to Sheikh Sufi Ba, because that's the perfect show for the Sheikh to be on.
Yeah.
And maybe we can get all three of you brothers to come give us some science, some real practical science on the Zikr.
Hey man, Zikr is the ancient Egyptian Heka.
Was it?
Hey, listen, man.
Linguistics. Linguistics.
Why did he just do that, bro?
Zikr and Heka. It's real hard H.
Hey, listen, man. Listen.
It's the same ritual. You got to understand, it's the same science. In ancient Egypt, they was doing the same thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
But see, now you're going to have the people like, when it's going to come, we're going to have to bring this show like ASAP.
Because you got to remember, Sufism is the child of Egypt.
Yeah, don't know.
Yeah, not just that, but the ritual.
Yeah.
The science of it is still there. From the ancestral veneration of your dead, all of that is there. That's all Egypt. You find it in perfect place. Yes. There are books written on Sufism and the ancient Egyptian mystery systems. That's it.
Give them one book to go order. Give them one, just one. If you can bring
on what topic?
What you just said.
Okay, I would deal with Mustafa Gadala.
Exiled Egyptians.
Yep, I would deal with that. Exiled Egyptians from Mustafa Gadala, and I will put this one because I forgot the name, but I'm gonna tell you this book right here is when he went in on Sufism in its root. Egyptian Mystics, Seekers of the Way by Mustafa Gadala.
Damn near everything Mustafa wrote. I've not read one bad book.
He gets it in. And he's the one that shows and even starts how the Arabic language came from ancient Egypt. He tell you what was the original name of it, where it was first found in the papyrus that was written, though he ignored that not only did Arabic come from Black people, it was an African brother that gave them vowels into the language. So these things must be known of the origin and its source, right? So it's all us. But I'm telling you.
Powerful. I was supposed to have the bombs right there when you said that.
No, because it is. It's like, when people look at Islam from perspective, they looking at it from the present usurper's eyes instead of from our eyes. We always reinvent our systems to match that time.
And that's I stand on this quote by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Well, no, it's actually Rastafari Muhammad. Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam.
It's 1,000%, and you can't get around it. Right. But I'm telling you, when they read that, they'll see. And it's another brother, man. He's vicious. Vicious Egypt. He reads and writes the hieroglyphics. I forgot his name. His first name, Christopher. He real sharp, man. And he was like, man, he sent it to me, matter of fact.
Is that Christoph Luxembourg?
No, it's a brother, man. He be with the brother saw Imhotep in them. They all write on it, man. And he was going in and showing how Sufism actually was derived from ancient Egypt. That is the system. That is the system. That is definitely it. Because he was showing point for point of what the priesthood was doing to what the Sufis had. And it's in it. Listen.
Well, I need that.
You do understand that Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba could read and write the hieroglyphics.
Thank you for saying that.
Say it again.
Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba could read and write the Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for saying that, bro. People leave out the last place he went when he went to go do his studies. When he left a very, very potent disciple in charge of
1,000%.
He went to the Shadili, the Tijani, the Karia, every other order in West Africa, North Africa, and East Africa he went to, but people will intentionally leave out the fact that he went and studied in Egypt.
Man, he could read and write it because the interconnection between Wolof is the child of the ancient Kemetic tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba showed you that by the words still in their complete form in Wolof.
And listen.
Arabic, Wolof, the ancient Egyptian tongue. The words are damn near still there in the direct format.
We still use it today when the Bifar brothers say fall, Yarim, fall.
Fall, Yarim, fall. You fall, Yarim, fall.
See, Peach, the brother shake at the joke, and pre-colonial Black Africa does little linguistics and traces Wolof backwards, right? But we find the same word, Yarim, in the Kemetic that he takes it back to. Remember, I got to try. So many people watching, but Yarim is such an overwhelming feeling of compassion by being fully engulfed in your work or your service and receiving the blessing from it that you can't do shit but cry. Wow. And so the exact same word, even spelled the same. The God talks the truth.
It's definitely there. People are ignoring the reality. See, we don't get it. It's like, man, that's all our sciences. That's all our sciences, man. All we did is just bring it and reinvent it and brought it to somewhere else. The mystical sciences just keep on traveling.
See, because the mystical sciences don't have a container.
No, not at all, man. And it's in everything. Christianity, Islam, whatever, you're going to find it. You have Sufi Christians.
Yep. When they greet you, they say, Assalamu alaikum.
Yep, it exists. That's because of what Sufism is. The mystical sciences of ancient Egypt is in everything. Right. That's why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said what? He said the story of Jesus studying in Egypt for 20 years means that the American so-called Negro will study in Egypt for 20 years, at which time he will learn his language.
Hey, look, brothers, you know what? To the listening audience, I want to say this. It's been a joy to bring you this episode. I had two powerful brothers here tonight, and we're gonna continue to have more of them because you already know we just told you what we have in store for you. So allow me to go break fast officially. Um, honest and gratitude to brother Khalil. Honest and gratitude to my brother Sheikh Bilal. And honest and gratitude to everybody who tuned in to Lex Think Podcast. I feel a lot better tonight. I'm not fading out on the camera on y'all tonight. So I held it in the road tonight. So give me the, Ramadan is for real. So I love y'all, brothers. So we gonna break fast.
Love you too, brother. Oh, you haven't ate yet.
No, I haven't.
All right, all praise due to Allah and the person to you.
Praise be to Allah. So, brothers, I love y'all. And
Love
to
you
the
too,
listening
God.
audience, I love y'all too.
Yeah.
Tune in again. Next show, we got me, Bilal, possibly our brother Maliki Fard, Khalil Ali Allah coming in to tap in on the conversation. Hey, look, we're gonna continue to get these high level dialogues, and let's just get to it. Let's Think Podcast. Peace.
Peace, peace.